Okay, a lot of really good content we're going to talk today related to marketing for deals, arguably the most important part of the business. We have a lot of this stuff to cover, so make sure you get out your pen and take some good notes, because this has got to be the fun stuff. You got to think of yourself as a marketer. You need deal flow. Now, most of this stuff is related to marketing for borrowers. Chris is chatting in a little bit related to marketing to get capital, but most of this stuff is geared towards borrowers and to deals. Now, a few quick checkpoints of what we are going to be discussing. The deal comes first. The deal is the most important thing. That just is what it is. The deal has to come first. You need the deal in order to go raise capital. You don't go out and raise capital before you get a deal. The deal comes first. You use that deal, that good deal, that strong deal, in order to get capital investors to be in this game to fund some of these things. So think about this, and you've probably heard me talk about this a lot of times. So if I'm a private lender and I have 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 deals a month that I have to choose from to pick one, that's not great odds. If I have 20, 30, 40, 50 leads, 50 opportunities to choose from, and I have to pick a few to fund, so much more better. You can cherry pick the best of the best. So we get about 1,000 leads in the door every month. Most of our borrowers are repeat, but 1,000 new inquiries every month, and we get, 10 or 15 of those to close. So in the origination videos, we're going to go over scripting and our processes to weed through those very, very quickly. But the goal is, on a broad level, and we're going to go through this on a broad level, to get as many inquiries, as many applications, as many leads, as many eyeballs, as many phone calls, as many emails as you can, and then you work through them to figure out which one meets the mold. So the deal comes first. It's the most important thing. So there's a few different ways to make money. Now, if you have deals, if you have the opportunity, if you have in your hand the deal, you can do whatever you want with it. Now, in our model, it's we get a deal and we raise private capital and we make the arbitrage on the private capital investor plus the points. But if you have a deal, technically you can do whatever you want with it. It's your deal. You control it. You could broker the deal to make a fee. Don't really recommend it. I don't think there's enough money in there. If you have your own capital yourself, you can be the lender on the deal. You can do what we do and use some of our own money plus private investor capital, and we make the spread that way. So there's a lot. You can joint venture with somebody if you want to do that. So you figure out what works best for you. But there's a lot of different ways to make money. But the deal comes first. You have to do whatever you can in order to get that deal in the door. That is the most important part of this entire operation, is to have deal flow and to have opportunities to fund, to have opportunities. That just is what it is. This actually works for every business, right? You need as many customers as possible. So engrave that in your head, the deals. Okay, so we're going to talk about ways that we get business online, ways we get business offline, and the big magic funnel of getting as many inquiries as possible. And the magic thing is getting all of their email addresses. You know what, maybe I'll use this as well. Email address is key, because you're doing all this hard work to meet somebody offline or to connect with somebody online. You need to collect their information so you can follow up with them over and over and over and over and over down the line. And I'm going to show you how we do that. But this email address right here is important. You have to get that no matter what. It doesn't matter if you meet somebody at a RIA group and you get their business card, you say, hey, can I follow up with you on some emails? Or if someone goes to your website and fills out a newsletter or an application, you have to get the email address. So we'll get back to the ways we do this. Okay, so let's talk about some of the online stuff we do. Website, imperative. If you don't have a website, you're not in business. You have to have a website. 2 main things related to that. Obviously, for credibility purposes, no one's giving you money to lend out on their behalf, and no one's going to do a loan with you if you don't have a website. You need to have that for credibility purposes. It doesn't have to be all that crazy, but a basic website is all you need. We have some template ones that you'll have access to on hardmoneysite.com. You need that website, and at the very least, you need to have all your contact information to have some sort of apply now loan application. So you need a loan application on that and all your contact information for credibility purposes. And then you probably want to build that out as well to have some sort of free report or opt-in or newsletter or something that someone can get some more information from you, contact us form, without filling out a full application. Website is imperative. You need that. It is so important. The more web assets you have, the better it is. It's going to be hard for you to do any other online marketing if you have no place to drive that traffic to. So you need to drive them to a website or a landing page or a squeeze page, and that's the way to do that. So social. So there's the big 5 in social media. So you got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google Plus, which kind of got replaced recently with Google Business. Not the best social platform, but it shows up in Google ratings on SEO and when someone searches for hard money lending or hard money companies and things like that. So that's important as well. So let's go through kind of all these social platforms real quick. You need a business page on every single one of them. You need facebook.com/hardmoneybankers or 123 lending. You need all those social assets. So step one is go and secure all of those. If you don't want to have a personal page, whatever, it is what it is. You probably should have a personal page to advertise what you do, but if you're not comfortable with it, then don't worry about it. You don't necessarily need it, but you need a business page for each one of these social platforms. It's so freaking important that, obviously you got to have that kick in. So in this space, typically the two most important ones to have, now obviously the Google Plus is important because it syncs SEO wise to Google ratings, but LinkedIn is great for business to business. Facebook, a very, very good way that everyone's on there that you can target people. And then Instagram, you put some cool images, cool pictures related to the business, real estate, and things like that. And you can do that as well. So what we do in our business is we typically do a post every day, and we tailor it to each thing. So it could be, I don't know, before and after of a property that we just did a loan on that someone flipped and did a nice job on, and we put it on all different platforms. So the important part is get each one of those assets up and running. It's important as you kind of build up. Like that's just 101. The 102 is you build them out a little bit more. We're going to talk about some ads and ways to spend on that, but that's all free stuff. Just understand the audience on each one. You're not going to probably hit. This is business to business, so it's good because the borrowers that we work with are businesses, right? They're entities, they're developers, they're sophisticated real estate investors that want loans from you. So, cool. So that's the social side. If you go to Hard Money Bankers and look at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, like us on that stuff, and then we'll be in your feeds and you'll see exactly what we do. Copy some of the stuff that we do because it's pretty darn simple, to be honest with you. Keep it really simple on that. We have built out loan applications in our Facebook. The important part of all this is like we encourage likes, because think about this. You want to be in people's feeds. You want to be taking over the block. So when someone goes onto Google and searches hard money bankers or hard money lenders, in this space, hard money lending is the keyword. Hard money lenders and then hard money lending is the main keyword. But what you want to do is they want your website to come up, then they want your Facebook profile to come up, then they want your LinkedIn profile to come up. All signs reach back to your company. That's why you need these web assets everywhere. Okay, Google Biz. Google Biz kind of has merged with like Google Plus, but Google Biz is if you ever go on, like do a search for a company name or a keyword, and you have the whole Google site, and on the right-hand side, really big, it's like a third of the entire real estate on that page has the company name, their maps, some recent posts, some links and things like that. So make sure you go on to register to get Google Biz, Google Business, obviously. That's super, super important to have. Google Maps is another similar thing. These days, if someone wants to find a business or do research on a business, and obviously this is more for like restaurants and stuff like that, but you'd be surprised. We get a lot of traffic on Google Maps, because what happens is someone opens up Google, they either want to find us to come to our office, or they just want to learn more about us, and instead of going to a Google search, they just type in hard money lenders or hard money bankers or whatever inside Google Maps. So that's a big one. Now Apple Maps is very, very similar. Anyone who has an iPhone, it defaults to Apple Maps. Like personally, I never use Apple Maps. I don't think it's as good as Google Maps, but based on our search traffic, it works a lot. So what you do for that is you have to go to an iTunes account to set up your stuff on Google Maps. Now the goal of here is, again, this isn't stuff that like you might set up tonight and tomorrow you're going to get flooded loans, but you need to have all of these things open. You need to have all of these things up, because over time they grow and they grow and they grow. You get an eyeball here, eyeball here, eyeball here, eyeball here. So cool. So we have all that in place. The next step is, let's talk a little bit about PPC, pay-per-click. Now, really, the two best ones in our space are Facebook ads and Google ads. Now, all this stuff so far, for the most part, have been free. This stuff gets a little bit more expensive, and you can keep this cheap. You can keep this a few bucks a day, keep $100 a month, or you can spend a lot of money every month. We tend to spend a lot of money every month on it because we're in the game of doing as many deals, many good deals as we can. We want to get as many eyeballs as we can in front of our stuff, so we do tons and tons of stuff. In this business, you either need to spend money or you need to do really hard work. Those are kind of the two things. So you can spend money on some of this stuff to try to drive traffic, or you can do lots of hard work, which I'm going to show you how you can do kind of on the offline stuff. Personally, we like to do both of them. I want to spend money here. I want to do hard work here to get as many people into our funnel system as possible. So Google AdWords, that's probably the most expensive. It's going to cost you a few bucks a click to do that. The ad you want to run is you want to target hard money lender, hard money lending, hard money loans, your company name, things like that. You don't need a ton of keywords, and you want, full service hard money lender, 100% financing or 90% financing, whatever it is. Construction loans, I would geo-target it related to hard money lender in Columbia, Maryland, stuff like that. So do Google searches to figure out in your market what people are doing the most, and just copy those. Whoever you see that's up there multiple times, they're spending a lot of money on that and it's working. So just copy those and tailor them to your liking. Cool. Facebook ads, very, very similar. The cool part about Facebook ads is it's so targeted because you can figure out exactly the audience you want. So the way that we do with our Facebook ads is we target people that are liked on that like us on Facebook, have gone to our website before, and there's one other thing related to Facebook. So likes, people who have come to our website, and our email database, because you can do an audience based on who you have their email address. And we're just marketing them all the time, over and over and over and over and over. We want to be in their feed at any given time because someone might not have a loan opportunity for us right now, but they may in the future. So we want to make sure we're in front of them at the right time. Bad part about Google is it's expensive. The good part about Facebook is it's significantly cheaper as you get into it. So I don't want to go too far in depth with this. I mean, you could buy tons and tons of courses and look at so much material on this. I mean, that stuff changes regularly, but the important part is, dabbling with it. So two sites that we're pretty active on that bring in business is Bigger Pockets. I'm sure you know Bigger Pockets. You can create your own mini blog on it. So for instance, I do a blog post every week and I post it to it. So I have some recognition there. I jump on forums, and the goal is I don't just jump on forums and spam people and say, hey, use Hard Money Bankers. Someone asks a question, I know the answer to it, I respond to that question. And eventually, they look us up and they back and they'll come find us. We spend a little bit of money yearly as well to advertise on Bigger Pockets so we can have our logo and our website and stuff like that. And then REI Club, we spend about $100 a month, and we're in the directory of areas that we loan in. So most of these things are fairly inexpensive or free. Now, remember, the goal of all this, the goal of every marketing thing you ever do is a call to action. You want somebody to fill out a form to email you, opt in, or you want somebody to call your office. Because and I'll talk to you a little bit about this in a second, but when someone calls your office, you can ask them for their email address. Because the goal is to continue to get their contact information and email them and follow up with them and call them on a regular basis until they have an opportunity, a loan for you. That's just what it is. Whenever we have a slow week or a slow month, all we have to do is send out an email to our list and says, hey, something, a story or something that's going on, or a success story, or hey, check out this video that we did to help this particular person. By the way, if you need to close before the end of the month, reach out to us. So when we started 11 years ago, we had 0 people on our email list. We didn't know many people in this space, and there's about 60,000 people on our email list over 11 years. Some are free, some are paid, but every single person we come in contact with that is a real estate investor, realtor, mortgage broker, something related to this, every single person, online, offline, they get put into the email database. They opt in to get put into the email database because, to be honest, that's where your business is. Your business is your database, your email list. You gotta understand this part. You gotta understand getting email addresses. You have to understand that. If you're not willing to do this, it is gonna be very, very difficult for you to do deals on a regular basis. You need to get as much people's stuff as possible. So I'll give you an example. We run an ad on Facebook. We encourage them to like our page. They like our page. After they like our page, we encourage them to opt in for maybe a 7 steps free report or get a free piece of software or something, right? So we have their like. So because they're liked, they like our Facebook page. Every time we post on something, it shows up in their feed, and the more they're interactive with us, the more and more they see it. We also pay to play to get in front of them more and more and more. And then because they got our free report, now we have their email address. And now we have their email address, we can encourage them to fill out a loan application, come to one of our meetup groups, call our office, do a free strategy session, endless things that we're doing. Now again, you can keep this one-on-one. You don't have to build this out crazy yet. But the important part is you have to get the email address. Like, I can't talk about that anymore. Like, you have to get the email address, and you have to be emailing your list every week. We talk about the weekly checklist of things that have to get put on our weekly checklist. These are things that we do with some of our high-end consulting clients when they come into our office here. We put together this weekly checklist of things they have to get done. So whenever they follow up with us, say, hey, I'm having a problem with this, it's, let's go through your weekly checklist. You said you were going to send out an email every Friday. You have to send out an email every Friday to these people that you gather that opt in. That's what marketing is. Someone doesn't just pick up the phone, call you, and next thing you know, they're just going to hand you, $10,000 to do a loan with you, which doesn't work like that. You may get lucky, and that could happen here and there. We do loans for people that we've met months ago, years ago, right? That's just what happens. Yes, there's people that call, and a week later we do their loan and we get paid. But you need to have a system to get in front of these people over and over and over. So that email, and we'll go more in depth with that. Okay, so offline stuff. So good contacts for this business is real estate agents. Keep in mind, you need to educate the real estate agent that we work on investment transactions and commercial loans. As soon as you talk to a real estate agent, they're gonna call you the next day and say, hey, I got a deal. And you get on the phone with the person and you're like, wait a second, is this a primary residence? We don't do loans on primary residence. Real estate agents are in the consumer primary residence world, and that's okay. You just need to educate them to make sure they understand. You meet a realtor, you say, hey, listen, can I have your information? I'd like to follow up with you. We could be a good resource for you to fund your investment transactions. They're like, sure, no problem. Put them in the database. Same with mortgage brokers. Mortgage brokers get paid when they broker a loan. The way we have it set up is the mortgage broker can charge up to 3 points on our deals. So we have it set up with them that refer the deal over, we have their email address, and we follow up with them. Meetup groups are huge. Chris and I used to go to meetup groups pretty religiously because it's probably the number one place that's extremely cheap, if not free, to meet tons and tons of investors that are super targeted. Now keep in mind, in meetup groups, it's the 80-15-5 rule, like any other business. 5% of that group is going to be doing all the business, 15% dabbles, and 80% will never do a deal. That's okay. You got to figure out who those people are. And we've gone to, I don't know, there's a dozen meetup groups we used to go to for years and years and years. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, we created our own meetup group with the sole purpose of, instead of us spending all our nights, weekends going out, let's just have them come to us once a month. So we've been doing that, and we have several thousand people in our meetup group. We get a few hundred people that come. So just something to think about. But guess what? It's through the meetup site. So there's 3,500 people on that site. Guess what? I have their email addresses. I can contact them. I can send them information to apply for a loan. The goal with all of this is to make sure you have their information. Auctions, really good offline place. Who goes to auctions? Typically cash buyers or people that want to buy properties. You go to those auctions and you hand out your business cards to them and you ask them for their business card, it works. Now you're going to say, well, why would an auction buyer pay my rates? Why would they want to pay 13 and 3 or 14 and 4? They're cash buyers. Well, guess what? They are cash buyers, but sometimes they have more deals than they have money. And you got to be their second choice. I'm happy to be anyone's second choice in this business. Happy to. Most of the borrowers we lend money to have good credit, have good assets, have financials, and they're smart people that have resources. Some HELOC, some their own cash. But guess what? They run out of that. Their bank caps them. They don't have enough cash to buy this deal. So they miss out on the opportunity. They don't want to miss out on the opportunity. They'd rather spend higher money for the loan than miss out on opportunity. Auctions are good. If you want to spend money, you don't necessarily have to do this, but we do direct mail. We do one direct mail piece every month, and what we do is we go to ListSource or another list broker, and we find everyone who has purchased a property in a business entity who has purchased more than 3 properties under the same entity over the last year. So what does that mean? If I bought 3 properties under a business entity in the last 12 months, that means I'm an investor and I'm buying stuff actively. So that's a big one, and we send them the same direct mail piece every month. We automate it through click to mail. It's a super simple system. Classifieds, there's a lot of different classifieds and list directories out there. Just throw, hey, what you do, and those are free. So again, all of this leads down to here. I'm going to step over here. All of this leads down to driving them to do two things: either pick up the phone and call you, or to opt in so you can have their email address. You want them to go to your website. If they go to your website, you have a loan application so they can apply now. There's some sort of free report so you can get, give them a 7 steps free report or something. A free report, maybe it's a free video if they get your email address, sign up for a newsletter, right? Any of those things. There's endless of them. I mean, we probably have 30 different opt-ins to get email addresses. Just you got to get their email address. And for the people that you meet offline that they give you your business card, or if somebody calls in your office, tell them, listen, do you mind if I put you in my database, my email database? We send out, regular industry-specific stuff related to our company and the real estate investment industry and lending, and they'll all be like, sure, absolutely, follow up with them. So then you can put them in that database as well. So that's what you do with the business cards, the offline stuff. You manually put it in. That's an easy way. That's an easy way to do it. And when you're starting out, you're going to get a lot of business cards because you're going to be spending a lot of time offline to try to get people that are investors in the door. Now, don't worry about qualifying how good or how not good, or hey, I'm not going to put this one in the email database because they're using my competition over there, or this is just a real estate agent. Everyone goes in the database. Don't get too crazy and have something sophisticated that says, oh, these people are real estate agents, these people came from this, these people came from that. Like, you can do all that in the back end. Throw everybody into one general population email list so you can get back at them and email them on a monthly basis, or a weekly basis, sorry. So if you're called to action, somebody to pick up, to call you, you do something like this. Say, hey, nice, at the end, hey, nice chatting with you. Hey, by the way, do you mind if I just put you on our email database so we can stay in front of you? Or, send you information? Sure, no problem. So you're spending money or time on every one of these. You're spending money or time on every one of these. You need to do whatever you can to be able to follow up with somebody. Think about this. Think about you own a store and it costs you $50 to get every single person to come into your store. Someone comes in the store, they look around, not for me, or I'm not ready to buy right now, and they leave. That person's gone. That person's gone forever. I'm not saying that they can't get back into the door at some point, but they're gone forever. In our business, that's not the case. When someone comes in our front door, when someone knocks on our website, and when somebody comes to our meetup group, when I collect a business card from somebody, I meet them at a RIA, and I'm spending either money or I'm spending time getting in front of these people, I'm going to collect that information. I'm going to collect that information so I can go back after them, email address. So I can go back after them and get them back into my store over and over and over and over and over and over and over forever until they tell me, leave me alone, unsubscribe, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm going to get in front of them until they either buy or they tell me, I'm not interested in your product anymore. So you need to really have to grasp that in your head. So that kind of just happened without us really even knowing years ago when we started this business, that hey, we have to collect an email database. The email database is your business. Like I said earlier on, if we don't have, let's say we had to completely start over and we don't have any deals, we don't have anything, I can send out an email, I can do a quick video or a blog post or a picture or something, send an email and say, hey, we need some deals, or obviously don't say we need deals, but hey, we got this new product out, this is who it's great for, hit me up type of thing. The calls will come in, the emails will come in, the loan applications will get filled out, and we close a loan based off of that. It's so important. You got to collect it in your database. Again, it can be something easy, constant contact, eye contact, MailChimp. We use something called Infusionsoft, which is a little bit more expensive, like $500 a month, and we have a lot of other sophisticated options on that, but don't worry about that. Do something simple. Get MailChimp, eye contact, constant contact. With a small list, it's free, and you pay more as your list grows, but guess what? As your list grows, your pockets grow, and you do more and more deals. So this is for everybody. Everybody. I don't care how sophisticated of a lender or if you're just starting, or if you're doing tons and tons of deals. Well, guess what? You're doing tons and tons of deals now. What if things change? Things will not change if you have this database of people growing in. Our job every month is to grow this. We need to get as many people in the front door into this funnel right here. This is like let's just say like this is the top of the funnel, which is like marketing. We need to get our eyeballs on everybody. And then the goal is to get as many people as possible into this database. As many people as possible into this database. Some are gonna be great, some are not gonna be great. And then once a week, we do this twice a week, but I would suggest once a week, not suggest, like you have to do this once a week. Every Thursday or every Friday, and again, you put that on your weekly checklist that you got, and this is what all our high-end consulting clients get as well. This is part of it. They know that every Thursday they have to send out an email, no matter what. It's the most important thing that they can do that day. It's the most important thing that you can do today. I don't care if you have a loan closing at 9 a.m. I don't care if you have, whatever, a phone call set up with a new capital investor or a borrower. You have to have that done. You have to time block. So those emails go out every Thursday. If you need content, go look on hardmoneybankers.com. We have tons and tons of content, and you can see exactly what we're doing. Come up with your own original content. I would recommend doing a video of yourself, be the brand. I hate doing videos. I hate doing this video right now, but they work, they get eyeballs, and the more you do, the better it is. So you can do a video, you can do a blog post, you can do a picture, you can go do something related to a house. So typically whatever our best content is that we do every day, throughout the week, we pick some good stuff, and then that goes out to the email list. So your first email is, hey, just want to let you know I started XYZ hard money lending company. I'm really looking forward to working with you. This is what we do, right? And you can do that via text or email. Again, text is good, video is better, or text is good, pictures and images are better, and videos are the best. So you do what you want on that. But as long as you're doing this on a consistent basis, deals will come in over and over and over. I mean, people have seen hundreds of our emails before they've called in. Sometimes it only takes one, sometimes it takes 100. Like, don't be overwhelmed by the size of our email list. Don't be overwhelmed by the amount of the stuff we do. Every eyeball counts, it's important. If I do a video, think about this. I do one video and I post it on social and I get one person that watches it, yay, hooray, it's a win. Obviously I want hundreds of people or thousands of people to watch it. If I get one, I did my job, right? It's the same thing as going to a meeting with somebody and shaking their hand, or going and meeting somebody offline, right? Utilize these online resources as much as you can to get eyeballs, get email addresses, hopefully set up appointments, because listen, we are in the offline business of real estate. Transactions aren't just done in the interwebs. So people do want to meet. You're lending people money, you're borrowing money from people, whatever the case is, like, you do want to meet, but utilize these resources. Bring them offline, have a meeting with them, but at the same time, make sure you're collecting their email address and email them every week over and over and over and over. That's what works. Like, there's no magic secret sauce. That's what works. It's getting people in the door through online and offline channels, bringing them through a marketing funnel. This is super simple to set up. Go to ClickFunnels. You can set that up. I have a website template that you have access to that that you'll see the link below this. So, and it looks like hard money site. It's in ClickFunnels. It's super simple. The template's already set up. These squeeze pages, these opt-in pages are already set up. So you don't even have to do any of that stuff. But if you have your own, you can do that as well. So the goal is get in front of as many people as possible, get them to opt in, throw them in your database, and freaking email them over and over and over. Don't spam email them. Give them stuff of value. Remember, they want to know what's in it for them, not what's in it for you. So like, you can send out an email of like, this is what you do, but then after that, it's like, cool, 7 tips to, flip a house for high profits, or the best way to get, leasing, good tenants to your rental properties. You're an expert in this. You're an expert in this space. So whatever the most value you can provide them, email them. Again, there's no magic bullet, there's no easy button. Get people through this funnel, get their email addresses, and follow up with them. And then you get a little bit more sophisticated when you have phone numbers as well, and you can send text message blasts if you want. You can do slide broadcasts, you can do a lot of other sophisticated stuff, but like, the email address is where it's at, I promise you. Where it's at, give them good information, right? And that's when you'll get deals, and you'll get deals, and you'll get deals, and you'll get deals. And when you automate this, and when you do this on a consistent basis, your phone's gonna ring, your loan applications are gonna get filled out, and people are gonna email you with their deals over and over and over. That's just what it is. That's the secret behind our business. We're good at this right there. Get good at this and work it all the way down. And if you see, this is a funnel, okay? Get as many people in that front door as possible. Collect their information as many as possible. Keep them retained in your email databases as long as possible, and send emails out every Thursday, every Friday from now until forever, okay? That's the secret. Okay, so our next video that we're gonna talk about is origination. What happens when the phone rings? What happens when somebody emails you that they have a deal? What happens when someone picks up the phone and calls you? What happens when someone fills out an application?